This is Hardy Brute with another run of Novems. Last time we had a lot of fun playing around with the leaders, the commander cards, in the Art of War deck, so I would like to do that again. Last time we played with the Nolan commander, with an incredibly strong deck. Today I'd like to play with Morgan the Great Witch. Her ability is that cards in front of her that have at start of battle, at start of turn, are triggered twice. So we have a Cult Follower that'll give 5 HP to the cards around it. So he'll actually give 10 HP because I'll do it twice. So we're looking for triggered effects. And I have a little bit of an idea of what kind of team I want to build. But a lot of the cards we need are blues and purples. So we're going to pick up the cards along the way and try to survive. But let's see how it goes. The first fight should be incredibly easy, especially because we have the double attacking Twin Blade. He's got one slime and one eagle. The eagle is the biggest threat because he'll hit the entire board for 7. But luckily each turn we're getting 10 HP, so we negate the eagle. But look at our HP, we would have lost if we hadn't had those triggers. So we did find the Wandering Samurai, who links with the Twin Blades. You can freely put it in any row, and it'll enhance their abilities and give them more stats. So now when the Twin Blades or the Two Fangs attacks, the third blade gets damage, and when the third blade takes damage, the Two Fangs will gain damage. So they just synergize back and forth. Before, the Twin Blades just buffed itself, so now he just buffs the other card. And so we have one Corpse Soldier, one Masked Sorcerer. We just need one more Corpse, and we can assemble a Link. These early game links that we haven't seen, haven't really played with, I have no problem trying to utilize and use, but I do have an idea for an end team. So he's got 2 damage buffers, 1 healer, 1 reviver, but we have 1 early game link, and we also have the leader card, which is really strong on its own, a 2060. But our goal is to survive till late game, because one of the blue cards we need, we would like 5 copies of it. And before we get 4 of those copies, the card doesn't help our team in any way. So they're just kind of dead cards. So transitioning, switching our team out, is going to be really important. So hopefully we can get another Corpse Soldier and get a 3-link going. Because everything that keeps us alive, gives us more tries, is going to be huge. So he's got 2 big tanks here. Protector Stone Golem. He just has a lot of health. Luckily our team heals pretty well, and he didn't have a lot of damage. So that was an easy fight. His linked golems protected the placements left and behind it. So he really did just have protections. Would really like a second Corpse Golem. The Low Knight is also really good. High stats, you only need 2 of them. At the Royal Guard, he's actually part of one of my favorite links in the game. You need 2 Royal Guards, and then you also need a female knight that's wearing a golden outfit, and it's the same sort of yellow, the color of the Cult Followers. The Tome Guards needs more Corpse Followers, either needs 4 of them, and it needs a lot of different links, a lot of different cards we don't have. So let's just move on. And we haven't found any of the pieces of the combo yet, but a lot of them are blues and purples, so that's to be expected. He's got 3 Poisoners, and his top card poisons the entire team. His Wolf also spreads and adds stacks of poison, so he's really hard to the poison. Our healer was dead too, and that was going to start being dangerous. And so we still haven't found the Corpse Soldier. The Royal Guard does have a decent link, especially with our triggering commander, but we still are trying to assemble some other links. We found the female knight. She's a guiding priest. I guess she's more of a paladin, or a priest, but she always reminds me of a knight. And we got a Corpse Soldier, nice. So we got 2 pieces of a link, and we actually got a 3rd actual assembled link. So let's see what this link is. 2 Corpse and a Mask. 100 damage, 300 health, that's huge, basic attack. And the Cursed Pendulum, 2020. When it dies, the other two cards lose 300 health. So that entire link will just explode. That's pretty awesome. Another benefit is that it gives our leader massive stats. She's 100-300, and she doesn't have any downsides. So if I put it in the front row, it's going to get priority 1 and 2, have the Guiding Priest, their abilities that they heal themselves, and the card in front of them for 30, and then they buff that effect too by plus 10 each turn. So with my Witch below my Priest will be activating twice, and hopefully she can overheal the Pendulum and keep that entire link alive. That's my plan so far. We're looking for a second Royal Guard, so can assemble my favorite link, but neither one of these links are actually part of the main build. They're just to keep us alive. But because of our massive stats, these fights should be incredibly easy. We can one-shot the Igloos. He had a 1-for-1 and he has 3 Reapers, which have a 70% chance to leave a card with 1 HP, which actually kind of counters our team, except that he'd have to trigger that ability at least 5 times. Even our Pendulum is now at 260. It starts off at 20 HP. So even though this ability is really strong, he's going to get 1-shot. Well, he has to 2-shot us no matter what, even if it triggers. But our double triggering Priest is doing pretty good so far. She's probably one of the best cards we've found for the trigger abilities. Found a second Priest. We don't actually need any more Priests, but she is a very good card. So I'm pretty tempted, and I think we'll just buy it. Because we have a Twin Blades, a Wandering Samurai, and a Free Spot, which all of those will be replaced. The Crimson Witch. This is the card we need 5 of. The card does not attack, but it deals 10 damage for each empty card around it. And she's a triggered ability, but if her ability actually triggered, our Pendulum would die instantly, and we'd probably lose. So we really only want her for the link. Also think some of the cards like this that don't attack should just have the attack removed, put 0 there. Otherwise it's a little bit confusing when you think they might defend themselves. So his team was just a lot of stat points, but our stat points were a lot better. Our leader even has 520 health from the Priest in front. And so we're looking for more Crimson Witches. We're definitely looking for more Royal Knights that have the biggest immediate effect. But none of these cards really. Bloodstained Formation's decent. Found a third Priest. I'm pretty tempted by that too. And she actually has a 2-link with herself. As she becomes the Archbishop. Instead of healing 30 plus 10 each turn, she heals 40 plus 20 each turn. She's not going to be triggering twice, but her effect is stronger. And I can buy the Priest and continue what we've been doing. The other choice is buying the Purple Banner Commander, who gets 10 damage to all the cards around him, based on how many links you have. So it's a choice between more heals and more damage. But I think I'm actually going to buy the banner and replace our Twin Blades, because the Twin Blades is a pretty bad card at this point. It's only got 12 HP. And we could focus on damage or HP, and I actually think we have quite a bit of damage, so I think I might just want my team to live. And we made the right choice here. He's got 3 yellow Harbingers of the Ends. At the end of the turn, they do 40 damage to both sides of the field. So more health is definitely better this time. He actually killed our Pendulum, and the Link survived, at least a piece of it, with 4 HP. We found the second Royal Guard that we needed, so now we can assemble the Link. My favorite Link in the game. The Royal Knights also have a Link, 2040, and they get plus 10 damage and HP to the cards around them. So it's a decent Link. But this is the Link I like the most. She gives 30 damage to all cards, 30 HP to all cards, and she cleanses poisons. And she can only do it 3 times, but it's an incredibly strong effect. And in most cases, the fight is over by turn 3 or 4. So the limitation doesn't really come into effect. We found another Royal Knight. And we have 2 priests already. So I'm kind of tempted to assemble 2 Durandal Knights. Getting 60 damage per turn, 60 HP. Sounds incredibly strong. And if we weren't locked into having a leader, I might even build a 3rd one. Just see how far that team could go. Because I really like this link. It's very strong. It'll carry us early on and give us lots of reroll chances. Yeah, so let's just commit, throw the Royal Knight in, and hopefully we can find a second one in the next round or 2. For the Crimson Knight links, we're trying to assemble the top right and the top left. The 3 in a row and the 4 next to one another. Those are the 2 links I want. That would be our team plus our leader, plus I guess a legendary card. I'm not sure what our final card would be. Our team took a lot of damage, but we also healed a bunch. And we still have a Corpse Knight in there too. Should probably replace that guy. So our team is decent, but we're still looking for a lot of different cards. And I would love a second Royal Knight. And none of these cards. Ooh, we got the Royal Knight. So we're going to lose the Archbishop, whose main function was just to heal us. But now we get to heal and do damage. But so far our team right now is looking pretty sick. This was definitely the build I just wanted to do for fun. And it does have some triggered abilities. So right now our Witch is doubling the damage everybody gets. And even though it triggers twice, it doesn't actually count towards the 3 uses. I found another Royal Knight. And another Priest. But we can't remove or replace our commander. It's the Seraph Knight. When he's damaged, he heals the row. And that's not a turn-based trigger. But we desperately need more Crimson Witches, because we need 5 total. And I really hope that team, when we pivot, is actually good. Look at all the triggers. The enemy also has some triggers, because of his Unicorn's healing. But ours hits the entire board, not just the cards around them. It take 80 damage, heal 60 back. Another really strong aspect is that these buffs happen at the start of the turn, so they're guaranteed to happen. Our Durandals are up to 480 damage, 300 on the side. Those are some big buffs. So that was fight 9 of 10. The 10th and final fight is usually pretty tricky. I'm not sure if we're strong enough to beat it. But we did get another Crimson Knight finally. We only need 4 more. And none of these ones. We're also looking for 2 different purples. And one of them happens to be here, the Shadowless Assassin. Nice, so it's slowly coming together. We're out of mana, but we made some progress this time at least. Are we fighting the dragon? The Soul Dragon? Yeah. The Soul Dragon is so strong. 3 creeping chills, they all get 60 damage at the end of the turn. And the dragon does a row attack, and he heals for the damage he does. So now he does 230 to the entire row, and he's going to heal for that amount. He's got 1200 HP now, yeah. This fight is incredibly tough. But we did okay against it. So we need to collect all units to pivot, or make this team stronger, which the only way we could do that is by replacing the priest with maybe a legendary. And even then, I don't know if that would be enough. We found another Crimson, nice. Because if we fight that dragon 2 more times, we're definitely going to lose. We found a 4th Crimson. Perfect. I don't think her link is strong enough to really help us. So we need at least 1 more Crimson. Wow, we got it. This was an amazing shop. And now we just need that final purple. And it is not this dragon one. He looks more like a necromancer with a cape staring off into the sunset. I like all necromancers do. And so we're out of mana. We could sell our board and try to really force it. But let's kind of hope we don't fight that dragon again. because it's not always the same fight. But it is the dragon. But the units attack randomly, so we have a chance to do better here. I still don't think we can kill the Soul Dragon though. The best chance we can get is if we focus the Creeping Curse and kill them before they get too much damage buffs. But we'd have to roll really hard in the RNG there. And he's down to 2 cards. We actually did do better there. That dragon is still a monster though. So this is our last chance, our last shop. I really hope we can pivot. Seraph Knight, that's not the purple we need. Looking for that alluring sunset necromancer. We actually found all the crimson witches we needed. We found a purple samurai warrior. He's not the purple we need, but the archmage. I think this is the best legendary in the game. He loses 10 damage to do negative 50 to all enemies. He basically does 50 damage per round, and at the start of the turn as well. And if you buff his damage, he'll just do it infinitely. If we play him with our witch, he'll actually activate twice and do a take away 100 to all the enemy cards, which is kind of insane. But even with the archmage, I'm not sure we can win. We got one last reroll, and I think I'm going to start selling the board. We just need one more purple card, one more card. And there's the Necromancer. What are you staring at there, buddy? And so we can finally assemble the team. Let's start with the purples and the crimson. I'm going to move it to the front row so it has priority. But it's a 60-200. And beyond stats though, we want the card because of its ability. At the start of the turn, grant all cards on our field and the enemies an effect where they take 50% increased damage. It does that 3 times, so all the cards are going to be taking a 150% increased damage. Which sounds like a bad thing, except when we assemble the witches and create the Queen of Flames. On the right side, she heals all allies for 40 HP at the end of the turn, and on the left, at the start of the turn, she deals 40 damage to all cards. Because of our witch giving double triggers, instead of a 150% increased damage, both sides of the field should be taking 200% increased damage. The 40 damage should become 120. The Archmage's 50 should become 150. And so we'll be doing a total of 270 damage to the enemy board, 120 damage to ourselves, and if we stagger the heals, it should reduce it down to around 80. As long as we survive the hits. But our initial burst is pretty strong, and hopefully it is strong enough to defeat the dragon. So let's see how it goes. We are fighting the dragon again. Can we kill the creeping curses? We do, so he has no buffs. His dragon only has 50 damage. And he got obliterated, nice. We did kill our own game quite a bit, but as long as we survive. So the pivot worked. The Archmage is probably the best legendary we could have gotten. Let's see how far we can go into the boss battles. And I'm not actually going to roll anymore, because I think our team is best in slot. Even the legendary fits our team really well. The other 2 or 3 legendaries don't benefit us as much as he does. They only have 300 health? Well, bad news, buddies. You're going to be knocked down to 30, and even our auto attacks, we're doing 180. This is working out really well. Let's fight 11 of 13, and I'm a bit concerned if we end up fighting the boss that has 5,000 damage, 5,000 health. I'm not sure we can actually survive long enough to kill him before he one-taps us 9 times. So hopefully we don't fight that guy. We killed his entire healers, he's just got the basic attackers. 600 health. Head down to only 30. Got destroyed. And we got one more final battle. So let's roll the dice and see what we get. So the boss only has 4 cards. The outside ones die immediately. And the boss counterattacks every time he's attacked. But he only had 900 HP, so he didn't have enough sustainability for how much damage we were doing. And we got a true champion. Nice. Well, this was awesome. I really loved pivoting, and I'm glad it actually worked out. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.